progress. So for my goal is today to hope that you would look inside yourself and say, okay, what goals do I want to address and work on? You know, we're still at the beginning of the new year, so how many of you are like start the new year off and you're like, I want to get some stuff accomplished this year? All right, good. That's how we start off. And Happy New Year, all right, you know, I don't do resolutions, I gave that up, I'm going to use that word. I just started thinking about what I would hopefully want the new year to look like and maybe what I might want to accomplish. That's why I have to feel guilty if I say I started a New Year's resolution. But hopefully we should always, and it's just so funny, I don't know why people think between 12/31 and 1/1, something magically changes. Like, okay, it's a new year, new me. What if we had that attitude on 2/14? And so 2/15, it's a new year, new me. So that's the beauty of setting goals and growth and progress is that at any given moment, you can decide I want to change, I want to grow, I want to do something different. And so that's what we're going to talk about today in terms of healthy goal settings and making progress. So, what is a goal? Okay, something you strive for, something you set yourself to meet, okay? Achievement. So something you want to achieve or when you've achieved it, okay? All right. Any other thoughts when you think so? When you thought of the new year and you're like, when I said how many people set some goals, want to do some new things, what kind of came into your mind when you say, this is what I want to do for the new year? Exercise, how I'm going to do it? Exactly. Yes. Okay. So now we can handle it. Yeah. Because the answers are already on the sheet, so I need a little feedback. So, a goal. It really is not that, deep. A goal is an aim or an objective we would like to achieve. So you guys hit it right on the head. It's something you want to accomplish, something you want to do. Sounds simple, right? So it's so simple, then how come we don't always make the mark?
Right. Slip off. No motivation.
We slip off, no motivation. Exactly. We get distracted along the way. All those are very good. Sometimes we just don't even know what the goal is. Like, what exactly do I want to do? I know I want to do something, but what? A lot of times, because I have pride practice, I ask people, well, you're here, you came to therapy, what do you want to work on? Well, I just want to, get to know myself better. I need a little more than that. Like, that's a whole lot. That can mean a whole lot. I need something specific. So this way we know it's working. And so, what do you want to do? So ultimately for yourself and also for the client. So I jumped ahead because some of you are already introduced myself and I know what you do. For the people who have not been in my workshop this morning, if you can just let me know what it is that you do, what type of area, what are you working here at BCAP or were you here before?
No. Teacher assistant.
Teacher assistant, okay. Okay. Okay, yeah, teachers, assistants, okay. All right, any of my bus drivers and bus drivers assistants still here? No, that was this morning, okay. We got case managers, teachers assistants, teachers, and anybody else I missed? Or is that covered? Okay, good. All right, so what do you want to do? So whether it's for yourself or whether you're working with your clients or your youth, whatever you call them, in order to reach a goal, two things must happen. Number one, we have to identify it. And then we have to define it. And they are two separate things. So, because if you don't know exactly where you're going, how will you know when you get there? And that's a lot of times we just are living life, we're going through emotions, we're doing, day to day, and we're not really purposeful about what we're trying to accomplish. We say, okay, I want to exercise or I want to lose weight. So you want to do something around the area or, but exactly what? How will you know you've achieved it? And so that's the part we tend to be a little bit loose and you don't really know that you accomplished it because you didn't know where you were headed to begin with. So, the very first, how do you identify it? You have to figure out what we call life domains. Where do you want to start? Because we're made up of a lot of different parts and a lot of different parts of who we are. So there's many aspects, and this is just some. Literally, I just Googled life domains. You can look up wheel of satisfaction, wheel of life, and then you can fill this circle up. If this circle represented who you were, There's so many parts to you. And so what part do you want to tackle first? What part do you want to look at? Is this physical? I heard somebody say exercise. I want to start working out more. So maybe that's about my health. How many of us set any physical goals around our physical environment? Maybe even if we're working with clients and you go into their homes and their homes may not be up to par. Maybe they don't even have a home. Maybe they're homeless and the goal is to get a home in a physical environment. Or maybe you have something going on in your own household that you want to set up. Like for me, I always have a room I'm working on. I was like, by the end of the year, I'm gonna have my office done. And then one year I spent New Year's Eve, like, I said I was gonna paint this office. So I had a self-imposed deadline. Nobody else was imposing this, but because I had said all year I was gonna paint this office, I spent New Year's Eve painting the office so I could say I accomplished it in that year. And halfway through, I was like, why are you doing this? So you're so, I'm arguing with myself as I'm painting, like, why am I spending my New Year's Eve painting? But I had to accomplish it in whatever year that was. So, a lot of areas. Here's the area of fun and recreation. I think it's wonderful that you guys actually have a workshop that was going on about professional fun. I'm like, that is so awesome, because we don't even think about that. A lot of times I'm working with clients and I say, what do you do for fun and recreation? People look at me like a foreign subject. Movies. A lot of people have forgotten to have fun. That life is supposed to be enjoyable. You don't exist to get up, work, and pay bills, and come home, and feed the kids, and start all over and do it again. But a lot of times that's how we feel. A lot of times that's how our clients feel. Like we're just in this grind, like here I am, I'm here, I'm going to this job, and hopefully you love your job, and it's wonderful, and it's great. Maybe you're in that category of life, and it's awesome. And if you're not, then you might be having some other goals that's happening, but nobody here. I'm talking about the people who are somewhere else. But you all love your job. And so, yeah, so personal growth. Here's an area that we don't really talk about. Personal growth. What does that mean to you?
Striving to do better for something, change habits.
Okay.
Think about yourself, like me, I'm trying to keep my cool with my man a little bit better.
Okay.
Communicating versus just getting right to the point, like, I don't have time to talk about that, like, I'm bad down. So I'm trying to really work on that.
Okay. Personal growth. A little emotional goal there. Emotional goal. You would be in a significant other category. You need to work on that. Romance. I don't know. Some people like, I don't even add anything in there. That's like a 0. So yeah, personal growth is I want to grow and develop in some other areas in my life. Yes, professionally, but maybe I want to learn how to cook. Maybe I want to learn how to sew, pick up that craft. Maybe I want to, learn how to organize better or do whatever. It's just some area that I want to work on for me that makes me a better person. And a lot of times we tend to forget that. And even working with our families, it's like we have these tasks, we have these things that we need to accomplish. Even with our children, we have goals and you have your core curriculum and all that other stuff. I don't know the language, but you have all of your stuff that you have to get done and your tests and this is a checklist. But then we forget that there's a bigger picture than that than just our agenda. So those are general categories. And then each category, you can break it down even more. And again, I need a magnifying glass. But in every area of life, there's other areas. So even in the area of, let's say, health. Health is a wide thing. So you got fitness, you got nutrition, stress reduction, because we talked about in our trauma workshop, stress can do a number on your body. Medicine or healing, mind, body, wellness, healthy living, work. We talk about career planning, workplace relationships. Maybe I want to do better with my coworkers. Business skills, entrepreneurship. Starting a side business, leadership, management. So there's levels to this. And so it's not just, okay, I want to work on, even recreation, all of those different levels in there. Social, there's friends, there's community, there's just your environment. And so community, how many of us are involved in our community outside of work? Most people are like, I don't have time. By the time I got off work and came home, dealt with the kids, I don't have time to be volunteering doing nothing. But that's a part, a bigger picture. So there's levels to that. So when you're looking at your goals and begin to identify and say, I want to work on me, I want to be a better person, I want a new year, new me. What does that even look like? I need to break it down. But there's a whole lot of stuff there. And that could be a little bit overwhelming. You might just feel like, oh my God, I got a whole lot of work to do. I start looking at all of these areas and I just kind of give up and like, whatever, it's just too much. Not today. So we must ask ourselves where to begin. And we must ask our clients where to begin. A lot of times we have an agenda. There's some stuff that we have to get done, some things are mandated, some stuff you just have to accomplish. But I can accomplish it if you come into an organization, we have a relationship together, there's a purpose for you being here, so you know there's a goal, but let's start with where you are today. What is it that we want to work on today? We may have to get housing together, we may have to work on, cooking skills, childcare, or your parenting skills, but I can at least ask you where in that cycle or circle that you want to begin with. Even with our children, you have homework or you have whatever, like, well, maybe we decide which project we're working on right now. As teachers, you have a set curriculum and syllabus and all that stuff you have to follow. However, maybe homework time, they get a choice as to the order of homework. We might have to get it all done, but, do we get a choice as to where we begin? To empower people to make a decision so they don't feel like I'm just being talked to and told what to do. Even with our children, we can begin, from, the time they can start making decisions. Okay, you have to eat lunch, but I don't have to tell you what you have to eat every day. You might have a category, or if an outfit, I'm going to pick out 2 acceptable outfits for you to put on, and you get to decide which one you want. I'm starting to teach you at a young age choice and making decisions. So within parameters. So where do we want to begin? And so that's something we need to ask our clients and ask ourselves. In that grand scheme of life, of all the stuff we can work on, what do I want to begin with? So how do we decide? Well, number one, sometimes it's about safety and what's most urgent. So when we're working on our families, if they're in crisis, if they're, housing is a situation, they don't have child care, whatever the case may be, those are most urgent. So of course, it's safety first. And then, what's the deadlines and due dates? So even in your personal life and in your work environment, we can have multiple tasks, but which has the deadline? Because sometimes it's deadline driven. What comes first? So sometimes, I have a leeway here, or something needs to be done tomorrow. The thing that needs to be done tomorrow is kind of the thing I should be working on today, without putting it into the back burner. So I'm looking at my deadlines and my due dates, what's in order. If you're about money management, you want to pay bills off. Well, when are my bills due? What bills have to be paid first, so I have it outlined so that I know that I'm hitting these bills first. So what's most important? So in that circle of life, what area is most important to you? So the young lady back here talks about her communication in her relationship with her partner, because that's important to her. And if we don't get this communication right, it might be, a bigger challenge. And then, that can lead to greater life dissatisfaction. So I think this is where we need to start working first, because this is a problem. So you can look at what is causing you the most distress, and what is it that you can begin to work on, or what will bring you the greatest joy. Because sometimes we only focus on the problem, and we forget that life is not about just problems and problem solving. There's some things that I should just enjoy. So me taking a cooking class, it might not be, my top priority. I don't have no deadlines, but it brings me joy, and I need a little bit of that in my life, a little bit more some days than others. And so I'm going to add that to, that's important to me right now. And so figuring that out and then prioritizing, because we all have multiple things happening all at once. So I have to be able to prioritize and say what is most important, because you cannot tackle everything all at once. It is overwhelming. And so that's when we get discouraged, because we're doing too much and we're trying to focus on everything and we're focusing on nothing. And so that's how it is even with our clients, when they feel like I have so much that I have to do, I'm just not going to do it. Even our children, I got so much homework, I have this, I have math, I have science, I'm so overwhelmed, I can't do anything. Yes, we can. Slow down. Let's do one thing. Let's focus on that. And so what is that one thing, if you can think about it for yourself, and what is the one area that you want to start focusing on? And is there anything that somebody just jumps out for them and be like, okay, I see this is important to me, or this is a priority in terms of a particular area? Anybody want to volunteer an area or goal? They would like to have a goal in an area. Don't necessarily have to share what it is.
My CDA.
Your what?
My CDA, working on doing my CDA.
Okay, and what's a CDA?
The CDA is a certificate that you get to show that you understand what's going on with like child care, that you know how to properly deal with them, keep them safe, and all the guidelines.
Okay, so that sounds like a professional
Career, yeah.
A professional goal. All right, so in your category, you picked out CDA. Since you've been so vocal. So you got 2 goals. You got the CDA goal, and then in your social relational.
Hey, we got to focus.
Communication was one of your goals. Regular anger management. Calming skills. You're gonna reframe that into a positive. Calming skills in the moment. Well, thank you for letting me put you on the spot. So those are some of the things, how deciding where to begin. That's some guidelines. So when you're working with your clients, you're trying to figure out when they're feeling so overwhelmed, sometimes you just break it down like, okay, what do we have to get done? Like, let's just focus on that right now. What has to be done today? What is that thing? And then we can figure out everything else. So that was identifying the goal. Now to define it, because we have to be clear. So when she said her professional goal was PDA, I needed it to be clear to me because I know what that meant. So she had to be specific. It is a certificate for child development and so forth. So that's a very specific goal. Because she could have said, I just want to enhance or improve my professional skills and be a better teacher. That's great. But when you said specifically a CA, then that's very clear to me. That's got some specific stuff around that. And so what do you want to do? Why is it important? Because you have to define a goal. Here's the thing. We can create all kinds of goals, but until you have defined it and it has meaning for you or your client, it's just something I can't get done if I choose to. A lot of times we don't hit the mark because we haven't really got that motivation. You know I need to lose weight because it's a good idea and I should exercise. But that's the difference from you're pre-diabetic, and if you don't lose XYZ amount of pounds, you're going to need medication. All of a sudden, I got a different motivation right now. So figuring out what the motivation is. Is the motivation, about independence and self-sufficiency for your families? Is it about interdependence and connected? I need to improve my connections with other people. I need to improve my family relationships. I need to work on my relationship with my children when you're teaching them parenting skills. It's about me being more productive. So I'm less stressed out, how to be more productive at work. It's about my overall well-being. What's your motivation? And if you can understand somebody's motivation and help them to explore their motivation more, then we got a reason why we're doing these tasks, why I'm eating this lettuce and celery and not eating a cheesesteak. Like, I need a little bit more motivation than, what that scale says. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So what is motivating you? What's defining this for you? And once I can identify that, now I need to refine that goal. I need to make it as clear as possible as to what success looks like. Because a lot of times we have these broad goals like improve communication, or anger management, or what's some of the goals we have for our children?
To be ready for kindergarten.
Be ready for kindergarten. That is like so huge.
Yeah.
Like, exactly what does that mean, be ready for kindergarten? Like, I'm sure that entails a whole lot of stuff from, I don't know. What does that mean, be ready for kindergarten? Whoever said it. Who said that?
We get parents say, oh yeah, that's my goal. I want my child to be ready for kindergarten.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, okay, what does that mean?
Or-
And then so they'll be like, oh, I want them to know their ABCs, their 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to know how to tie their shoes.
And they're all very different. Learning how to tie your shoes and saying your ABCs 1, 2, 3, totally different skill sets. It may be some of the strategies might be the same, repetition, role modeling, whatever it is, videos on how you teach it to them. But again, so what will it look like when you've reached your goal? Because a lot of times they just say these broad things like, I want to be happier. Or I want to, have a better relationship with my family. I don't really know what that looks like. And so until I can look at it, define it, we don't know that we've actually achieved it. And then here's another thing, taking your negative and turning it into a positive. So if your goal is to lose weight, that's a goal, but what's the point of losing weight? To be healthier. And something more specific, go to doctors and you want to have a healthy BMI, body mass index, the ratio of weight to fat or whatever it is. And so you want to be specific, they say, if you're above 25 or something % body fat, then you could be, in terms of obese and all this other stuff. So that's just very specific. I want to be a little bit healthier. I want to be like at 22% to start. You know, some people are like, yes, I want to have 10% body fat. And that's yeah, that's, you gotta be realistic. We'll talk about that. So you don't want to just lose weight. You want to see what was your motivation? I want to be healthier. I want to live healthier. You know, I've seen people say, you know, I've got grandkids, and so my child said they were having a baby, and I want to be around for my grandchildren. So I'm not just losing weight and getting healthy for that. I want to be actively involved with somebody's life. And so you don't just want to improve your communication skills. I want to have a wonderful, healthy relationship, and you know, whether you want to get married or whatever, and I want to live happily ever after. You know, so I don't want to just get out of debt. I want to improve my credit score. I want to be able to save, you know, a sufficient amount of money, have an emergency fund. I want to be able to buy this house in, you know, 5 years. Whatever it is. So there's something positive. So I'm not just focusing on the negative and the debt and the amount of weight I have to lose. I'm focusing on my goal and my vision and my purpose. That's why I'm doing this. That's why when I eat this lettuce and celery and bypass the cheesesteak, it's because I want to be able to fit into my wedding dress, you know, the day I get married or whatever it is. So that's refining your goal, making it much more specific and much more positive. So, and it also takes some of the negative out of it, like feel like, oh, I have to do this, or I didn't work my anger management skills. Because that makes me focus on anger. And I don't want to think that I'm an angry person, or the negative things that's happening in our relationship. So, and here's the thing about life. Life isn't like, you know, this is a wheel of life satisfaction circle, and I use it with my clients. Sometimes it's not that you're trying to, you know, everything is not a 10 in your life. It's unrealistic to think that every domain of your life is just going to be perfect all the time, and it's going to be, you're living your best life in all areas. Sometimes you might be a solid 7 and you can live with that. Sometimes you're at a 2 and you're like, okay, I got to do better. So sometimes it's just about making progress. What will make this a little better for you? Because a lot of times we get overwhelmed. So if my health was an issue, and I feel like right now, you know, I'm at a 3 because they just told me I'm going to be pre-diabetic, and this is pretty bad, how can I just bump it up a little bit? What could you do to make it a little bit better? So if I need to lose 100 pounds, well, that would be a nice 10. But you know what, to get me from a 2 to 3, can I lose 10 pounds? That would make me feel a little bit better. And so it's about progression. And so we can help our clients identify the smaller steps. Well, I know you're overwhelmed right now, but what is it that you can do that make you feel a little bit better? Like one thing that will make this a little bit better. And have them begin to identify it. So even for you, what's the one thing you're like, okay, it would help a little bit if. Could anybody think if they could just do a little bit, it would help me a little bit if this area improves a little bit. I see your head nodding. Can you think of anything that came across your mind?
Yeah, I had $100 right
All right. An extra $100 will make me smile. I feel a little bit better. $10,000, I feel real great. But you know, give me an extra 100. I'll take that 100. You know, how can I increase my bank account by 100 every month? Because at the end of the year now I got an extra 1,200. So, but that 100 might start with, you know, we'll talk about that. But that's something that's real tangible. Extra $100 at the end of the month might maybe relieve a little bit of pressure. How can I figure out how to do that? And so that's what it's about. So when we're looking at goals and how to achieve goals, how to not get overwhelmed, and so it feels doable.